You have probably said it before. There's no point.
Maybe after a long day when nothing went right. Maybe while scrolling through an endless stream of headlines. Or maybe in that quiet private space where you ask yourself what all of this is for. That is the thought I want to sit with today. Not to fix it, but to face it. What if there really is no point? I'm your host. This is Curiosity and Co. Here we don't chase certainty, we explore it. We humans are meaning making creatures. Give us randomness and we will build a story. Ancient people looked up at the stars and saw gods and destinies. Today, we see careers, success, purpose, our modern mythologies. But what happens when those stories stop working? When we reach the goal and still feel hollow? When love fades? Or the world feels indifferent? That is when the whisper returns. There is no point. It sounds hopeless, but maybe it is honest. Maybe it's where real understanding begins. Psychologically, humans crave coherence. We want our lives to form a narrative. Viktor Frankl, psychiatrist, philosopher, and Holocaust survivor, wrote in Man's Search for Meaning that those who found purpose, even amid suffering, were more likely to endure. Meaning wasn't a luxury, it was survival. But that same instinct can become a trap when we attach our sense of meaning to success, validation, or other people. Our peace becomes fragile because when those things vanish, our meaning does too. Modern life only intensifies this. We replaced divine meaning with productivity. Purpose became a performance metric. Strip all that away, what's really left? The existentialists, Sartre, de Beauvoir, Camus, walked straight into this void. Jean Paul Sartre declared, existence precedes essence. We aren't born with a purpose, we create ourselves. Albert Camus called life absurd, a clash between our search for meaning and the universe's silence. His emblem was Sisyphus, condemned to roll a boulder uphill forever. Camus ends the myth of Sisyphus with a line both defiant and gentle. One must imagine Sisyphus happy, because even when the task has no final purpose, Sisyphus owns it. He pushes the stone because it is his stone. That's not despair, that's freedom. Freedom from needing life to add up. Of course, facing this idea is not easy. When you are deep in that what's the point feeling, it is heavy. Some psychologists call it existential depression. Not a formal diagnosis, but a phrase used to describe depressive states rooted in the loss of meaning. It is not the same as ordinary sadness, it's quite ache of awareness. Interestingly, clinical research on existential oriented therapies shows that when people face these questions directly rather than avoid them, their existential distress and even death anxiety can lessen. For many, though not everyone, confronting the void can paradoxically create peace. Not the peace of certainty, but the peace of acceptance. As Thich Nhat Hanh often taught, stop running, start being. When we stop running, happiness finally catches up. Where Western thinkers wrestled with meaninglessness, Eastern traditions often made peace with it. In Buddhism, the idea of sunyata, emptiness, means that nothing has fixed, independent existence because everything is interdependent and changing, clinging to a single meaning causes suffering. Emptiness is not despair, it is freedom. Taoism says something similar. Lao Tzu Tao Te Ching describes the Tao, the way that simply flows. It has no point, no agenda, yet it nourishes everything. So while Western thought says life is absurd, Eastern wisdom whispers life simply is. The same insight, one resisted, the other accepted. Today, there is no point shows up in memes and jokes, half laughter, half fatigue. We live in an era of burnout, algorithmic attention, and existential overload. When everything becomes performance, work, opinions, even leisure, there's no point starts to sound like rebellion, a quiet refusal to play the endless game. Saying it sincerely, not in despair, but in clarity, can be an act of liberation. I don't owe this world a purpose. I just want to live. That is not dark nihilism, it's post nihilism, dancing after the collapse of meaning. Think about what has truly mattered to you. Not the milestones, the moments. A walk after rain, a song that met you at the right time, a midnight conversation that dissolved into laughter. None of that had a point, but that's why it mattered. We confuse pointless with worthless. Yet many of life's richest experiences are precious because they serve no purpose. The poet Mary Oliver asked, maybe the truest answer is nothing in particular, and that's enough. When you stop demanding meaning from life, you become lighter. You can make art without needing it to be profound, work without tying your worth to it, love without demanding permanence. If nothing has inherent meaning, you are free to choose your own. Nietzsche once wrote, he meant crafting your life deliberately, even knowing it's temporary. Meaning becomes a creative act, not a discovery. A Zen monk was once asked, what is the meaning of life? He smiled. When I'm hungry, I eat. When I'm tired, I sleep. That's it. No metaphysics, no divine script. Maybe freedom looks like that, living without a why, yet fully awake. When you realize there's no cosmic scoreboard, you stop competing and start participating. So, is there a point? Maybe not, but maybe that's the wrong question. Meaning isn't found, it is made. And it's made in fleeting human gestures, helping a stranger, sitting quietly with someone you love, doing something kind with no audience. There's no point, doesn't have to end in despair. It can begin in awareness and even joy. Maybe the point of life is not to have a point, but to keep showing up anyway, to roll the boulder up the hill, to watch the sunset after, and to smile because somehow you are still here. This was Curiosity and Go, where we don't look for final answers, we learn to live with the questions. Until next time, keep being curious, even if there's no point. I would like to tell you about some further reading and references. 1. Jean Paul Sartre, Existentialism is Humanism, 1946 lecture. 2nd. Albert Camus, The Myth of Sisyphus, 1942. 3rd. Viktor E. Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, 1946. 4th. Heidenreich et al. Existential Approaches and Cognitive-Behavioral Therapy, Integration and Evidence Review, Frontiers in Psychology, 2021, showing reductions in death anxiety and existential distress for many participants. Number 5. Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, Entry Nagarjuna and Shunyata, Overview of Buddhist Emptiness. Number 6. Thich Nhat Hanh, Teachings Compiled in Peace is Every Step, 1991. Stop Running, Start Being, paraphrased. Number 7. Mary Oliver, Poem of the Summer Day, 1992. Number 8. Friedrich Nietzsche, The Gay Science, to give style to one's character. Number 9. Very Well Mind, Medical News Today, Articles on Existential Depression. Note it's a descriptive term, not a DSM diagnosis. Thank you again for listening, and I'll see you around. Ciao. You have been listening to Curiosity and Co podcast, a space where we slow down to explore the questions that shape our inner lives and collective realities. It's a place for thinkers, readers, and wanderers of the mind, those who find wonder in the ideas and meaning in complexity. Here, we reflect on philosophy, science, psychology, and the way we live and relate to the world, growing from both the timeless wisdom and modern insights. Tune in for the ideas, stay for the insight, because at Curiosity & Co, curiosity isn't just a trait, it's a worldview.